My name is Tony. I'm a little bit of an adventurer and I love motorbikes. So when I signed up to the Monkey Run Mongolia, I thought this is right up my street. I was going to be riding a tiny bike across Mongolia with a really good mate, and it was bound to be a laugh. That was until we found ourselves slap bang in the middle of the Gobi Desert, and suddenly the reality hit. The heat, the isolation, the breakdowns, the crashes, the arguments, the laughs, and the moments we would genuinely question whether we'd bitten off more than we could chew. This video is a small insight into our journey and what it was really like. The daily trials and tribulation, the unexpected challenges, the moments that tested us, and the laughs that got us through them. Because it wasn't just about getting from A to B. Like any good adventure, it was about everything that happened along the way. It had all been a bit of a laugh so far, but it all became real the moment we left Ulaanbaatar. Making our way south towards the Gobi Desert, with the long open roads cutting through the vast landscapes, it all seemed pretty normal at first. That was until I fell asleep on the coach and woke up a couple of hours later, slap bang in the desert. As I wiped my eyes, the coach pulled off the main road to let everyone off for a quick wee break. As we got back on, the coach driver didn't rejoin the tarmac. No. Instead, he started up the bus and drove straight towards the horizon. No road, just sand. Looking out of the window on our 2-hour journey into the vastness, I saw nothing but desert in every direction. The sun burning through the window, I saw no roads, no trees, no people, no shade, just relentless sand stretching as far as I could see, and in the blazing heat. This was the point that I started to panic. I had Lisa with me, someone completely inexperienced with this type of travel, simply excited for the adventure ahead. We finally arrived at the Gobi Kulan Desert Camp in the south of the Gobi Desert. Now I struggled to eat or sleep for the next 2 days that we spent there. My initial excitement had been replaced by crippling fear. One of the reasons I was so stressed was because this wasn't just about me. My mate Lisa lives the high life as a restaurateur in Dubai. She's never ridden a bike, she's never camped, and she regularly Ubers a coconut mocha latte to the front door when she fancies a cuppa. Oh, and she can't even read Google Maps. The night before we were due to leave, it all came to a head and we had a big bust-up. And of course, in between lots of laughs and pissing about and learning how to fly the drone, when we probably should have been doing a bit more map work. That night we made a decision though, to cut out seeing the nearest attraction that I'd pinned on the map and to make our priority to reach the nearest town, which was 55 kilometres away and slightly south. The following morning, adrenaline was high as the adventure was about to begin. We decided to make our way over to the White Stupa, a natural attraction about 5 kilometres out of camp, which also meant the safety of travelling with the rest of the group. But before long, everyone had disappeared into the distance. Lisa was still learning to ride a bike, change gear and navigate sand, which meant that we were much slower than everybody else. And it wasn't long until there was no one else around. Now I only had me. We were fully reliant on the route that I'd plotted on my phone to get us out of one of the harshest environments on the planet. It was so hot, the GPS arrow on my navigation kept freezing, and the tracks in the sand would disappear or go off in various directions. The Gobi Desert is over 1 million square kilometres in size, and it is not the place that you can afford to get lost in. It's mid to high 30s with no shade, no people, and it wouldn't take a lot for things to go sideways quickly, which it started to. Lisa crashed several times, and every repair meant unloading everything on both bikes so that I could fix the problem and then load everything back up in the searing heat. I was sweating profusely and drinking minimal amounts as I was trying to conserve the water, especially as Lisa had lost her 3-litre bladder in the last crash. Now we were 2 people relying on one person's water and we were barely making ground. Right, so we did the White Stupa this morning. And then we were making our way to like a main garage petrol towny thing, which was 37 kilometres away. So in total, I think we were doing about 50 odd kilometres. It's our first day. Everyone went and did the White Stupa. Well, a lot of people did. Then quite a few people decided to come this way. We are the last ones behind. Like, we've lost everyone. So they're miles back. They're miles on from us. I'm now navigating on my phone using maps.me. Keeps freezing a little bit because it gets so fucking hot. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but Lisa's way back there at the moment. I've just ridden up to this bit because there was a little bit of shade, and I'm just trying to get into a bit of shade because, as you can see, it's not the sort of place you want to be thingy bobbing. She's had a bag hanging off the front of a bike, dragging on the floor. It's burst and her water bladder's now broken, so now we're 3 litres of water down, and this is not the environment that you want to be losing 3 litres of water. So I really don't want to have to ride back down there to go and get her. I'm hoping whatever's happening down there, she's going to get moving. After spending a grueling 8 hours in the Gobi desert heat, we finally spotted some trucks running along the highway, reaching the town of Khuld, which we'd been aiming for. By this point, I was extremely dehydrated. My muscles were cramping, I had a banging migraine, and I was completely exhausted. The first thought that I had when I reached that road was, I have never felt so alive than when I was faced with the possibility of death. It was at this point we sat down to have an honest and serious chat, because the thought of going back into the desert all over again was just not an option. Day 1 was brutal. I couldn't carry that level of load looking after 2 people in that environment. It just wasn't possible. And for Lisa, the amount of crashes and being fully reliant on someone else, it was a wake-up call for both of us. In my search for somewhere to stay, I'd stumbled across these 2 guys building a house. Sensing my need for help and a good mix of sign language and Google Translate, they started to help build me a new bike rack. And then out of nowhere, another man showed up, taking us to a place that we could stay for the night. We made it to the town yesterday. I just want to make a record of everything, really. Didn't get to film as much on the Action Pro as I wanted. It was too much about survival mode, if I'm honest. It was a case of Lisa had fallen off a few times, her rack system broke a few times, I fixed it a few times, but it meant all of that exertion of taking the bags off the bikes, refixing things, taking the extra time to get through the desert meant being exposed to the elements a lot longer. And by the time we reached this town yesterday, my muscles started to cramp, which is a sign of obviously losing water and salts from the body. So, she'd also lost the water bladder system. It became a pretty serious situation. We were riding for a good few hours, and I could see these electric pylons in the distance, and to me that was like, that's where we're heading, that's where the town is, it's going to be alongside the road. And at one point I sort of went ahead a little bit further than I would usually go from her, just because I wanted to reach the pylon and see the road. And I got to the pylons and there was nothing. And then I saw a little house, like a tiny little house with a makeshift basketball net, and there was a woman with some kids there, and we asked which direction to go for this town, and they pointed, but it was another 5 kilometres away, and that's another 5 kilometres out in the heat, So once we reached the town, I think we were just literally like almost kissing the ground. We're now making a decision about what we're going to do. The Mongolian guys yesterday fixed our racks. Lisa's one's fallen apart at the moment. It needs looking at properly. But we need to make a plan of what we're actually going to do. So at this point, we're sitting down. We're still at we stayed here last night. So the guys that fixed our racks took us, some guy come and took us here. Inside there's like multiple little rooms. I tell you what, it's got a shower in there. It's ensuite. It's as you would expect in Mongolia. But we've got this little shaded area outside. We're going to make ourselves a cup of coffee, and I'm going to have a tea in our little boiling kit. We had super noodles last night on it. So at the moment we feel safe. We're now going to decide what we're going to do. We know we want to get out of the desert. We don't want to be riding 2 days at a time through the desert heat, because we can't do it. Not at the speed we're travelling, not with what we're carrying, and the level of rider that Lisa is as well. And that's not on Lisa, that's on both of us, because at the end of the day, we both knew what we're getting ourselves into. We've just got to make practical decisions, and we've got to look at this sensibly, because our main priority really is, and as we said before we left the Gobi Kulan camp, our main priority is safety. So there's a few little things I've noticed on the map as well, the adventurous map. There are a few other people still in this town, And that's another thing, not that I want to put on other people, but I want to see, well, what issues are they facing? What are they struggling with potentially? Because if they're still here and haven't left, then that means there's something that they're going through as well. Lisa's coming now. What you got? What? This is a video for our video. Oh, I've got to stop. She's not got a bra. So, slight update. The man at the place we're staying is now fixing Lisa's rack. He also found a nut for the shock absorber that was missing off her bike. So he's just turned up with it out of the blue. We didn't ask him. Absolutely amazing people, the Mongolians, not going to lie. Really, really bloody so hospitable, so helpful. We've met these two guys. This is Ben, Matt's his brother. Matt is the biker out of the two. Ben has never done any biking, as you can see, he's got a bad leg injury. I noticed on the Adventurous app that they were also in the same town, so we've communicated. They've come over, just stripped down Matt's bike. He's got spark plug we've just changed. We've put a little bit of WD on the air filter to stop any particles getting into the air system. And next thing we're going to check is his carb, if it needs stripping. So he's just gone for a little ride. The spark plug that came out was filthy. Where are we? Here. Look at that. Running really super rich. So we're going to try a few little things, see if we can get it running a bit better. And yeah, the Mongolian guy is doing Lisa's rack. We've offered them money, they said no, but we have managed to give them a little bit. But they're so hospitable, just literally running off, doing stuff without even us asking. So yeah, this is day 2 on the bikes, morning of day 2. Like I said, I think we're going to team up at this point with Matt and Ben. We've got myself and Matt, who are the bikers of the group, and you know, obviously I've got my YouTube channel, you've seen on all my stuff how I do all my own repairs and stuff, so I've got my little kit with me, nothing major, but I've got a good little supply, I think. And these two over there, as you can see, they're the, oh, you can't see it too much, but they're the coffee shop Instagrammers over that side, I think. No, we're all on this journey together, it's flipping hard. We spent the rest of the day going through all the bikes. I changed the spark plug, stripped the carbs and adjusted the chains, whilst Matt did all the air filters. That evening, we decided to make our way as a 4, back into the desert to get a few kilometres under our belt and spend the night under the stars. I felt much more confident. This time, I had support. As a group of 4, we had more supplies, more skills and a better chance of making this happen. We camped that night beneath one of the most star-studded skies I've seen in a long time. So we've done about 10 kilometres since we've left our little hotel-y thing, whatever you want to call it, with them people that were really, really nice to us. We met up with Ben and Matt, as you know. We've just done probably about 10k from the town, and we're going to camp out tonight in the Gobi Desert with our bikes. We're going to put the bikes around the circle and put our tents in the middle as a little bit of a barrier should any cars come across, because there are the odd tracks here and there, but we're trying to get off as much as possible. Looking forward to setting the tents up, having a cup of tea and having some dinner. And Matt and Ben have just talked about something called a firewall. So I've no idea what a fireball is, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that it is something very potent. So let's get the tents up. The next day, we were eager to get started. It meant another day crossing the Gobi Desert with around 70 kilometres to our next destination. We headed out with a new positive enthusiasm. The Gobi Desert, however, definitely had other plans. Tune in to the next episode as we attempt to cross Mongolia's epic landscapes on these tiny bikes. You'll find all the videos in this series under my Monkey Run Mongolia playlist. And if you're thinking about taking on the Monkey Run Mongolia yourself, then check out my top tips video, which includes everything that I wish I'd known before setting off. Until next time, see you in the next one.